If you've ever been to an exercise class, then you've probably seen one of these, right? This is the burpee. It's one of the best movements for your body because you work your core, your lower body, you work everything all at the same time. But burpees are not appropriate for most people. In fact, most people, if you try to do a burpee like that, are gonna end up hurting yourself. You're gonna hurt your hip, your knees, your lower back, your shoulders, and I don't want that to happen to you, which is why today I wanted to show you several different variations of the burpee that are way gentler on your body and appropriate for complete beginners. So let's dive in to the first variation. All you need to do this is a simple chair, okay? So what you're gonna do is make sure you have a nice sturdy chair, put it in front of you, make sure you can lean your body weight up against it like this. Now the first variation of the burpee that I'm gonna teach you today is called a high chair burpee walkout, and it looks like this. You're gonna stand behind the chair with your toes facing straight forward, and your hands are gonna be just behind the chair. So we wanna be able to bend down and grab the chair like this. From there, you're gonna push your butt back to initiate the movement. I'm not gonna round my back forward like this. A lot of people have bad form on the burpee as well. So push the butt back stays flat, hands come down to the chair. From there, I'm going to step my feet backwards into a plank position. Now in this position, and this is gonna happen through all the variations I'm gonna teach you, don't let your butt sag down like this, and don't let your butt stick out and your lower back arch like this. Both of those positions put a lot of pressure on the lower back and can end up causing lower back or SI joint pain. So as you step back, it's step back, glutes tight, core tight. We're squeezing our butt muscles and we're squeezing our core muscles. Another thing that can help you squeeze your core muscles even more, which will make this more challenging but will give you more benefit from these movements in a safer way, is to push your hands down against the chair, almost like you're imagining trying to tilt the chair this way. When you do that, you'll feel these muscles right here underneath your armpits, your lats, your serratus, firing. Those are gonna stabilize your shoulders and activate your core even more. So again, tall posture, hands down, activate those lats, step back, glutes tight, core tight, step forward, stand up, and then we bring our arms over our head. And one more cue here. As we bring our arms over our head, I don't want you to bring your palms forward or turn to the outside like this. That's internal rotation of the shoulders. That's bad posture, okay? Instead, we wanna bring the arms overhead with the palms facing each other, or even the palms facing a little bit backwards as we bring the arms overhead. So I'm gonna do this beginner variation in nice smooth movement so you can see what it looks like, and then I'll show you how to make it a little bit harder, all right? So again, butt back, hands down, activate lats, step back, step forward, arms overhead in a good way, bring them back down, and repeat. Step back, step forward, arms overhead in a good way, and repeat. Now, I know this seems incredibly simple, and probably something that you're like, well, that's not a burpee, but let me show you the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and you'll start to see this movement progression that we use at WeShape to help people feel so much better in their bodies. And it's one of the best ways to exercise for gaining strength, flexibility, balance, and coordination all at the same time, and to do it safely, okay? So if you can do this for 60 seconds, and you feel good, your body feels great, and you can do it with good form, just take that chair and turn that chair around. And the next variation we're gonna do is a low chair burpee walkout, all right? So for this variation, same thing, stand about a foot or so away from the chair. I'm gonna push my butt back stays flat, hands come down on the chair. Now for people with wrist pain, if you need to, put your hands on the outside of the chair like this, okay? When we put our hand flat on the chair, it requires 90 degrees of bend in the wrist, which a lot of people don't have. If I put my hand on the outside of the chair like this, now my wrist is about 45 degrees. It's a whole lot less. It's gonna feel better on your wrists, okay? So hands come down, I step back, plank position. My lats are active, my glutes are tight, my core's tight. Step forward, push the butt back, weight on the heels, stand up, bring the arms overhead in a good way. So one more time, hands down, step back, hold for a sec, step forward, stand up, arms overhead in a good way, okay? So again, we're making it a little bit harder because that requires a little bit more strength, a little bit more flexibility, and a little bit more coordination. Now, if you can do that for a minute, then here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move the chair out of the way this time, and we're gonna see if we can do a burpee walkout on the ground, but I wanna be real specific about this. If you can't do this with good form, then you need to work on the low chair version, or you need to find something that's between the chair and the floor to work on, because this requires more flexibility. You see, most people do a burpee like this, and they round their back before they jump backwards. This is an injury waiting to happen. So for you, when we go from the low chair, we wanna be able to do this. Butt back, hands on the ground, but still have a nice flat back, okay? Which requires hamstring and groin flexibility to be able to do this. So if you can't, again, keep practicing the low chair version, or find like a couch cushion or a step somewhere in between a chair and the floor, and practice that version before coming all the way down the floor. So for the low chair burpee walkout though, for the floor burpee walkout, we're gonna bring the hands down with a flat back, step the legs out, Glutes tight, core tight. Step the legs forward. We're gonna reset the posture, weight on the heels, flat back, and then we're gonna squeeze the glutes and extend our body up. And this is where we're gonna have to start paying attention to our knees as well, okay? So before, we could have our feet forward, our knees forward. It's a little bit easier to keep track of, okay? So when I'm doing the low chair, we're just kind of doing this. When I'm doing this version, I want a wider stance, and I want to be able to come between my legs like this, put my hands down, and I don't want my knees to be caving in like this. A rule of thumb for the knees should always be going the same direction as the toes, not a different direction than the toes like this, okay? So same direction of the toes. So again, just to make sure you got the move down, it's butt back, weight on the heels, come back, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core, step up, reset the posture, knees over toes, stand up, arms overhead, just like that, okay? Now, if you can do that for like a whole minute and it still feels good, then we're gonna try a move that's a little bit harder. We're gonna jump back and jump forward, but we're gonna take our time in between. And if you need to, you can jump halfway, walk the rest of the way out as well, okay? So it looks like this. Hands down is our starting point, and you can either jump all the way back into that plank position, again, not letting the back come down like this, but into that plank position, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core, and then see if you can jump forward, reset, and then stand up just like this, okay? If you can't jump all the way back or all the way forward, then feel free to mix it up. Come down, you could step back, you could jump forward a little bit, step forward a little bit, come to your good position, stand back up and do it. The important thing is you're focusing on good form and good quality movement throughout the entire time that you're practicing this variation of the burpee, okay? Now, once you're able to jump back and forward without having to take any steps, now you're ready to add the push-up in. So I'm gonna show you 3 different variations of this, and guess what? We're gonna end up at the actual burpee, all right? So the first variation is, I'm gonna come down, jump back. This time I'm gonna drop my knees, and I'm gonna do a push-up just like this. And the only extra cue I'm gonna tell you here is that don't have your elbows flared out like this, okay? This is gonna put your shoulder in a lousy position. Instead of going like this, we wanna bring the elbows down towards the ribs, like this, instead of flared out like this, okay? And then from here, lift the knees, jump the feet back, flat feet, weight on the heels, stand up, finish your burpee. If you can do that for 10 repetitions, let's say, on a kneeling push-up, then we're gonna go down with a full push-up and up with the kneeling push-up, like this. So down, we're gonna go half full push-up, drop the knees, squeeze the glutes, up, kneeling push-up, start back up, find our position, and stand up. If you can do 10 of those, and guess what? Now we can do a nice controlled burpee where we still segment the movement, right? We're coming down, out, push up, jump, stand to our original position, just like that. And over time, we can increase the speed on the burpee now that you've learned how to do this in individual steps and with perfect form. So as you can see, this is many different levels. I think we just did like 7 or 6 or 8 different levels for the burpee that allows you to learn how to do the burpee with good form and do a level that's appropriate for your individual strength, flexibility, balance, and coordination. So pick the right variation for you, practice it a few days a week, and you'll be able to do one of the best exercises for your body, but in a way that's completely safe. Oh, and by the way, if you want to be able to do this for all the different bodyweight movements and get an amazing workout from home, then guess what? That's exactly what we do at WeShape. We give you movement progressions just like this for your body built into a workout that was custom designed for you. And you can try it for free. You don't even have to put your credit card in. All you have to do is click link below and you can try it out.